Welcome to video 7 of our training series. In our previous video, we used the Embedded Entity Builder tool in the eCase platform to create both the main and pick list entities. In this video, we will focus on configuring these entities, adding fields, and establishing relationships. To configure the existing entity, we shall go to the Entities section under the Settings section. Click the name of the entity that you want to edit. In our case, we will start to configure our complaint main entity. The Entity Details workspace opens. This workspace will display the following information about the entity. The general information about an entity is organized into the following sections. The Details section displays all the general fields that the entity has. The general fields are composed of all the fields that we filled out when creating the entity. The Fields and Relations section contains information regarding the sections, fields, and relations that comprise the entity. For both main and pick list entities, the General section displays the name field created by default. For the main entities, the System section displays the following automatically generated fields: created user, updated user, date created, date updated. They are the mandatory fields created automatically for the main entities. They cannot be edited or deleted from the system. The Appearance and Ordering section supporting the functionality of editing the appearance and ordering properties of an existing entity. This section displays the following information. Name field. This property is available for both main and pick list entities. We will begin configuring the complaint main entity, starting with the Details section to manage general information about the entity. Please note that the system allows modifying only the display name of the entity. No changes will be made at this point. If any modifications are required, click the Save Action button to apply them. Now, let us proceed with creating fields for the complaint main entity. The Fields and Relations section enables us to establish sections, fields, and relations for the entity. Let us go over the process step by step. To create a section within the Fields and Relations, start by clicking the Create Action button. From the drop-down list, select the Section option. This will open a Create a Section data form. Here are the required steps. Enter the name of the section. This field is mandatory. For our example, let us name it Complainant Information. The system will pre-fill the system name of the section based on the section name, but you have the option to modify it if needed. This field is also mandatory. Next, we can proceed to create fields and relations within this section. To create a field within the Complainant Information section, start by clicking the Create Action button. From the drop-down list, select the Field option. This will open a Create a Field data form. Here are the required steps. Select the type of field that you want to add to the entity. On the screen, you will see various field types to select from. For our example, we will add a complainant name field under the newly created Complainant Information section. We will specify this field as a text type field. Follow these steps in the new form that appears. Enter the display name of the field. This field is mandatory. For our example, let us name it Complainant Name. The system will pre-fill the system name of the field based on the display name, but you have the option to modify it if needed. This field is also mandatory. Select the section under which the field will be listed, which is Complainant Information. Provide any other required information, such as specifying if the field should be indexed. Finally, click the Create button to complete the process of creating this field. In some cases, we may need to display information from pick lists, and to achieve this, we will create a relationship. Let us add priority field as an example. Here are the steps to create this relationship. In the Fields and Relations section, click and select the Relation option from the drop-down list. This will open a Create a Relation data form. Then, we shall select the type of relation you want to add to the entity. In our case, we will choose the Look Up to Entity type. In the new form that appears, enter the display name of the relation. This field is mandatory. Let us name it Priority. The system will pre-fill the system name of the relation based on the display name, but you have the option to modify it if needed. This field is also mandatory. Select the section under which the relation will be listed, which is Complainant Information. Provide other required information, such as specifying the entity to which the relation is a lookup. In our case, we will select the previously created Priority Pick List entity. Finally, click the Create Action button to finalize the process of creating this relation. We will continue adding other fields and relations using the same process and mechanism. This step-by-step approach ensures that we can efficiently configure our entity to meet our specific requirements. Now, let us add field-level validation rules. On the Validations tab, you can configure the diverse types of validations that will ensure data integrity and accuracy of the newly created entities and their fields. You can specify required validations for the entity fields. The required validations ensure that a particular field must be filled out or selected before the entity can be saved or updated. Selecting a validation allows indicating the validation rules that will be applied to the fields. For example, ticking the required checkbox will render the field as mandatory. In this video, we have covered the process of configuring entities, creating fields, and establishing relationships within the eCase platform. This essential knowledge will help you tailor the system to your specific needs and enhance its functionality. We have learned how to configure validation rules for our complaint main entity, ensuring data accuracy and integrity in the system.